Today, we're going to be looking at our Ohio Star pumpkin quilt block. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Come on!
Alright, we have everything laid out. First off, we're going to draw a diagonal line on our two little squares right here. So, I'm just going to use, make sure you flip them over. Draw a line there. Okay. Then we're going to take our green square and we're just going to snowball these onto the corners. I'm going to do one, then I'm going to do the other. Okay, let me show you what I'm going to do here. So sometimes I use a glue stick, but today I don't have it handy. So I'm just going to take just plain old Elmer's glue. I'm just going to put just a little bit right there because we're actually going to cut that part off, but it just makes for a really tight grip. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one while I'm over here. And I'm just going to flip that up when I sew. So just make sure that everything's lined up. I didn't put a whole lot, but if you have a glue stick, it works just as well. But we're gonna take, and I'm just gonna put my little 1/4 inch line on my stitch line, and I'm gonna trim that off, flip it around. And you don't have to use a ruler. You can just use a pair of scissors. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna press this open. There we have our little stem. I'm gonna go ahead and trim these little pieces off right there. Now if you want to, you can square this up if you're a squarer-upper. Alright, so that's gonna go back there. Alright, so we're gonna actually stitch this whole top row together just in a row. I'm going to take it all to the sewing machine and we're going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Alright, so we have our top row all finished. It's stitched and pressed together. Now we're going to make the actual Ohio Star part of, it's the one that's going to be placed in each of these little open spots right here. We're going to use these 4 squares to make our Ohio Star. We're going to draw a line on the back, on the diagonal. Alright, we're going to put this right sides together. And this one right sides together. And we're going to stitch, this time we're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch from the drawn line. Alright, now we're going to take and we're going to trim on the drawn line. All we're doing is just splitting these apart. So now we're going to have 4 squares that look like this. I'm going to press these open. Okay, we have all these pressed. I'm going to trim these little dog ears off. So here we have our 4 blocks. So now we are going to take them and turn them right sides together, but alternating the colors. Making sure to line up this stitch line with this stitch line. We're going to kind of nest it in there. Since we pressed everything to the yellow, we can kind of nest everything together. I'm going to put a few pins in here in just a minute, but we're going to take and we're going to draw a line on the diagonal. For the top one, I'm going to go ahead and draw this one before I put it together. Can you see me doing that in the camera? Okay. Again, we're just going to match them up and they're alternating. So now we're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch on either side of the drawn line. And just like before, we're going to trim these apart. And I'm going to press them open and look what we have. And again, I'm just going to trim these little dog ears off. So this particular block needs to be squared up. I purposefully made them larger than they needed to be. So I'm just going to square these up. Alright, so we've got everything squared up. Now we're just going to place these down. And then we're just going to stitch row by row by row, just like a 9-patch. So we have our Ohio block finished. Now we're going to work on the sides of our pumpkin. So we're just going to take both of these and we're going to draw a line on the diagonal, just like we did with the stem earlier. And just Just like we did earlier, we're going to use our little handy dandy glue. And for this one, I'm wanting this to be going in that direction. We're going to take this to the machine and we're going to sew on the lines. Just like before, we're going to put our ruler down on our stitch line and trim. I'm going to take and press this open. Alright, so we have our pumpkin sides made. Now we're going to stitch the top to our Ohio star, and we're going to stitch the bottom to our Ohio star. Alright, so now we're going to take our sides and we're going to stitch them on, and then we'll come back and stitch the top on. And there we have our Ohio star pumpkin.
And there we have our Ohio star pumpkin.